want to take you guys from the beginning of the rise of Slice and Rice and just our story together of what it took for us to get to where we are today.
So there's a lot that we haven't talked about, but we kind of want to take you back to before we even did this. So I guess, where should we start?
We should start by giving a special shout out to our homies, Monty and Megan.
Yes!
They are the reason we are making this video right now. They watched the videos and it was like, yo, we love it when you just talk to us. It feels like we in the room with y'all, man. And I want to know about this, about your life, and maybe that can inspire other people too. So make sure y'all put in the comments, thank you Monty and Megan for this video, because if we do more, it's because of them.
Monty actually came to our first ever meet and greet, and we actually bumped into them again at a pho restaurant. So that was kind of cool. We got to like talk to them one-on-one. So it was really awesome. We're super excited to get into this topic because of them.
Told you I was gonna give you a shout out, dog. Where do we begin? Let's start when we didn't have that much subscribers and we were working our regular jobs.
So I was working at University of Maryland, and I was a video producer, kind of making like videos for professors or just the school in general.
For me, I had 3 jobs and I was broke. I was broken and broke. I was shattered. I was in.
No, we're laughing about it, but that was a really dark time.
Yo, that was, when I look back, like 2 years, and I talk about this all the time, 2 years ago, man, like I was on the brink of getting ready to apply for food stamps. Like it was rough. I was making a total of like $400 a month. I was working in the mall. I was doing video for Comcast, and I was working part-time because Glory was like, boy, you need some money. And she helped me get a job working under her. So she was like my little boss, and we was tag teaming it up, making videos at University of Maryland.
But he was like an as needed basis. So like only when we had like big projects, he would come in.
Yeah, and it was rough. It was really rough. And on top of all of that, we were making videos once a week because we lived an hour away from each other.
Yeah, so while I was working, it's kind of funny that I'm saying this now. I hope no one's watching this from my old job, but I literally would like any break that I had, like especially lunch breaks, I would edit Slice and Rice videos, or I would like reply to emails. It was just always on my mind. I was just like, yo, like this is what I want to do. I loved my job, but you know, like anytime I had downtime, I would just work on Slice and Rice, like at my 9 to 5, just like, cause I knew that's where I wanted to be. Like that's what I wanted to do. I was working so hard. And if we had a video that week, which we always did, I feel like I would work 8 hours a day at my day job, and then I'd come home, eat, and then I work 8 hours that night. I was like literally constantly working.
And while you were doing that, I was in the streets. And by the streets, I meant like retail and like talking to customers as they were coming in, like, hey, would you like to buy this shirt? What kind of videos do you like on YouTube? Maybe we should emulate this on YouTube. I was trying to figure out what it is that would help us break through. And it was a rough, like, we've been Slice and Rice almost going on 6 years now.
Dang.
6 years. And it took our 5th year before we actually started bringing back how much we were putting into it. 4 years of finally seeing growth. So just imagine, out of 6 years, 3 straight years, you're not even passing 1,000 views. You don't have too many subscribers. You're seeing your peers just blow up in your face. And you're like looking at your own content like, what is it? Like, what can we do?
We were struggle busting. And when people like ask us how we grow, I feel like it's discouraging to say it took us this long, because like it did take us kind of like, what would you say, 4 or 5 years?
I'll say 4, yeah.
To finally go from 0 to 1 million. But like some people get that in like
5 years.
Oh. Some people get that in like a year these days, or like in a few months.
3 months.
But like honestly, that growth was a fun ride, and it took a really long time. But you can imagine we didn't make like any money for a long time. Like even when we were starting to gain subscribers, like even when we had like I feel like 100,000 subscribers, we weren't making like any money.
It was a lot of drawbacks, and it was really hard. There's a lot that goes into being a couple that primarily just do YouTube all the time. And you can refer back to the older video where we talked about how we almost broke up. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, 1,000. We weren't even getting 50, 100 views at the time, and we almost broke up.
Because it was just like, we started to put slice and dice over our relationship, which is, nah!
Whoa, what kind of...
That is literally...
Whoa, what are you, training to be Mulan right now?
Literally, that's like the worst thing you could ever do, is put your job over your relationship. Especially for those of you who are doing this together, like, that's not for everyone, man.
Watch these weapons. So it took me a while for me to mentally wrap my head around being a creator again. And then it's like, you watch how God just works in our careers, from using those setbacks in your life, using those hard times to really develop who you are as a person, develop your skills. You can look at the time when you're sitting on the top, or at least it feels like you're on the top, and you can be like, I can't be here without those skills or those experiences that I went through.
Yeah, we had to be so patient. There were literally so many setbacks, and like, we make light of it now, but I would say like Matt especially was going up. It was in a really dark time, because I remember there was one time, it was like before 2018, we were like, if we don't get to where we want to be within the next like 3 months, we're not doing Slice and Rice anymore, right?
Yeah, that was the year 2017. I was still living with my mom. I love my mom to death. She was like the bread. She took care of me, paid all the rent, paid all the bills, and I wasn't bringing home like nada.
Yeah.
And it was getting to a point where it's like, yo, like, I need some help around here. Like, I know what you're doing, but it's like, it ain't really bringing anything back.
Yeah, and you can't blame, like, both of our parents weren't really, I feel like they, well, at least my parents, I'll speak for myself, didn't really understand, like, this whole YouTube thing, you know? Yeah. So it just was really hard for them to, like, be on board, because it's just so foreign to them. So, but because I was doing it on the side, you know, it was fine. But it wasn't until I literally approached them, I just had this feeling like I have to quit my job. And even though I was making such good money, I had a really great job, and anyone would think I was stupid to leave it. But I approached them with like saying like, I feel like I need to quit. Like, I feel like God is calling me to quit. And my parents were so against it. Like, I don't know, looking back, if you can help me decide or not, if this was good or bad, but they literally said, just give it one more year. Like, and then like, by the end of the year, just like, see how you feel, if you still feel the same, so it's not impulse. So I actually gave it another year. Do you think that was like...
I mean, I think, looking back at it now, I think that it helped by you giving it one more year. I ended up getting hired and taking your position. So it was like, I started making way more money because you had quit to focus like doing more editing with Slice and Rice, and I was able to like bring in bread, help around the house. So it's like, it ended up working out. Yeah. And I was only there for a year. Last year, 2019, is when we like officially quit all of our retail and all of our jobs to pursue Slice and Rice full time. And it was like great. Yeah,
when I quit too, mind you, he was still working his like jobs, and we were not making money on YouTube. Like, we didn't quit because we were doing well. We quit, I quit because I felt so called to it. All the signs were there, and like we weren't making any money. I'm telling you, we weren't making money. So this was like not like the smartest thing to some people, but I felt like it was the push that we needed, because the moment you quit and you're like, oh shoot, I'm not making money anymore, like it makes you like feel like you really gotta grind. So I feel like, and I remember specifically when I quit that day, we got like 3 emails of like brand deals. I remember that. Yeah. I was like, what? We never get brand deals. I mean,
now we do. We get tons of brand deals now. But
it was like a confirming sign from God, like, you did the right thing. Like, you gotta have the faith before you do the action. So I was super proud.
For me, it's like, it's kind of sad to say, like, I measured my value as a man with the amount of money that I was bringing in. So like, before I got hired with all of those jobs, my value as a man was like very low, because I was like working retail. There was like people way older than me, like college kids making more bread than me. I'm working in the mall. I'm doing part-time freelance stuff with Comcast. And then I'm as needed basis with her. So once I got her job, and then I started bringing all these munties up in here.
It was the first time since we've been together you made more money than me. It was like a great feeling because...
the feeling of not making more money, like that doesn't matter to me, but to be able to bring it in more than $1,000 a month felt great at the time. And now, like, skipping forward, all of those things happened. We were doing good. We still weren't making a living, like Gloria said, with Slice and Rice. I saw the potential of where we were headed. Like, our videos were booming. Our subscribers were raising up. And it was at that moment, my grandmother said, and I forget the law that she said, but you can't have two things in the same exact place. Physically, it just can't be there. Like, my left finger can't be where my right finger is. It just can't happen. You have to move one of them out the way. Yeah. And what I was trying to do at the time was have put Slice and Rice, my job there, with my regular job on the same time. And I couldn't do it. Yeah. It was a certain amount of time. Yeah, it was a certain amount of time that I had to put in with Slice and Rice that I was given to my other job. So we had to make the conscious decision, a lot of prayer. Families was scared. You have no idea how scared. It wasn't that they didn't believe in us. They just didn't believe in the culture of it.
And you can't even blame them. It's still a relatively new thing. I mean, more people are doing it these days, but the average person is not doing this. So, like, you can't even blame them for having, like, worries, you know?
And it's like only a small percentage of creators on YouTube is making a living just strictly off of video views and just their channels in general. It's like going and like making it into a professional sport of some sort. Like, not everyone's going to make it there, you know what I'm saying? Unless you have that drive, unless you're just trying and putting a lot of time into it. And that's why I quit my job. I said, we have to do this. And when we did it, man, there was no looking back. And it was in 2019, man, just everything was booming. I felt like I was fighting for everything. We were getting married that year.
Oh yeah, I remember we had like a budget for our wedding, you know what I mean? And like we weren't making money prior to this, but like our first ever, I'll never forget our first paycheck. Man, like it was almost exactly the amount that we had wanted as our budget for our wedding and stuff, and it was just so God sent. Like everything in its timing happened so perfectly. I'll never forget that first paycheck.
I know, man. I wanted to cry. I mean, talk about how broke I was when I was working at college. I got a check for $50. And I started crying.
I had a video of it. I don't have it anymore. But
why would you? Look at him cry.
No!
Look at him cry.
He got a check for $50 and he had never been he was crying like tears of joy. And I just Snapchatting like, he's really happy.
Yo, it was rough, man. It was rough. So like every day, like no lie, every day I wake up with a gracious, grateful heart, but then also fear of not utilizing the platform properly, what God hooked us up with, because I don't want him to take it away.
Yeah.
But I am so like blessed and happy. Like I never dreamed of being in a position that we are in right now.
I do want to say one thing though that was a little bit troubling for me, especially before we met up or we saw Monty and Megan and had this like conversation. I was going through this lack of motivation thing because for the past like few months, like we had gotten to 1 million subscribers, like we got married, all of this like big stuff happened literally all at once. And like we had worked so hard. I feel like as a creator, especially if you're on YouTube or even Facebook, like you work so hard, especially for that 1 million subscriber like number. Yeah. I mean, it's not you're only working for that, but that kind of like makes you feel so good. And so like once we hit it, we got married, and I just feel like my motivation to keep working as hard as I was when we didn't have money, when we didn't have those things, was starting to like go down a lot. And it was to the point where actually like I would wake up and I wouldn't want to do anything. I was content like just being in bed, being lazy, and I really hated it. I don't like this mindset of having to like, you want to get somewhere and then once you get it, you're like, now what? You know? Like I hated that. And like, thank God for Matt, like, and just like the community that I have this like amazing, wonderful community. I have to shout them out. 9.5 Grade Rice, you know who you are. But yeah, I have this like group of people that are creators basically on Instagram. I have this group on Facebook. I ask people for prayer and I feel like I'm finally motivated again. It's not like we have to work for something. If we're making videos that we're proud of and that are effective to other people, and again, meaning Monty and Megan made me realize that it's not about that. It's about like, I don't know, being someone's, you know what I'm saying?
Like temporary joy. Like you guys really inspire us to do this, and it breaks our heart when we miss an upload day. Yeah. Because you look forward to our content because it helps get you through the day. It helps you look forward to specific days in a week and stuff, like your favorite TV show or an album that you've been anticipating. And this was a fun video for us. It's very therapeutic when we make these videos because it helps us like reflect on life and just things. And if you're a creator out there, or if you have dreams just in general, if you want to be a doctor or if you want to have your own business, all of those things, rejoice in those hard moments and just know that exactly, and it'll come up. Appreciate these hard moments because it's building a character. You might not see it now, but later when you're successful, you'll look back and be like, that is why that happened.
And you're gonna miss it. Trust me, you're gonna miss the come up.
I don't miss it. I don't miss that.
No, like
not no $400 a month. No.
I mean, like I respect people that are like not where they want to be at because they're grinding and it's just fun. Like when you look back, you're like,
no, the grinding is fun. You just gotta reroute that same drive to other aspects. And if you guys want to hear about like the strategies that we took to grow to 1 million and what we did, let us know for a future video, and also let us know in the comments what you want us to talk to y'all about. And we are dropping another video this Saturday. Yeah. As always, that one's gonna be a little more funny. We ain't gonna tell you what it is. So make sure y'all follow us on Instagram to see updates and subscribe.
Yes. We hope you guys enjoyed this talking video. We're gonna do these every week. Alright? So give us some topics you wanna.
Does that mean 2 videos a week? We'll try. No promises. Alright. As always, I got the slice.
I got the rice.